Hi, I'm Andrew Swan and I'm here with Sam Walkham. We're the team from Agbu who is behind the development of sheep genetics indexes.
Today we're presenting a series of videos which describe the modelling within SheepObject which we use to develop the Merino Select research indexes.
We hope you'll enjoy the videos. In this video we're going to talk about selection indexes, what they are and why you would use them. Sheep genetics evaluations have two main tools to identify superior animals: breeding values or ASBVs for individual traits and indexes. Simply put, indexes take the overall performance of individual animals by combining the important traits into a single value. To use a sporting analogy, say we were rating cricket players for their all-round ability. Trait 1 might be batting performance and trait 2 might be bowling performance. And our index of all-round ability would combine the two into a single figure. The question is, how much weight should we give to each individual trait in the index? And the answer is that it depends on the situation. If we're selecting a player for a team which is already good at bowling, we should put more emphasis on the batting trait to give the team a better balances. Indexes for sheep are exactly the same. We know what the important traits are in a general sense, but the emphasis to place on each trait depends on the environment and production system that we're working in. For sheep genetics evaluations, we have a range of standard indexes to cater for the diversity of environments and production systems across the industry, which will be discussed in a later video. Indexes have been a part of the sheep industry evaluations going back to the 1990s. And over that time, the focus has mainly been on improving relatively simple output traits, such as wool production and quality, reproduction through more lambs weaned, and improved growth rates. The way we determine the emphasis on traits is through gross margin analyses of profitability in commercial flocks, looking at what impact a change in each trait has on profit. Because this is profit-based, we account for both income and costs, and importantly, the balance between traits can vary depending on the production system. More recently, the challenges facing sheep production have grown through rising input costs, climate change, and societal expectations for ethical production, and indexes have had to evolve to address these issues. The traditional output traits are still important, but must be balanced with the need for healthy and resilient sheep, managed sustainably to high standards of welfare. We'll be explaining more about this in later videos in this series. With that background, it should be starting to become clear why indexes are useful. Firstly, they simplify the selection process. We have ASBs for almost overwhelming number of traits, and many people use an index as a drafting gate to choose the potential candidates and weed out the poor performance. By narrowing down the field, it is then easier to drill down into individual traits, including visual attributes and breeding soundness. Secondly, using an index makes it much easier to balance antagonisms between traits. A good example of this is the complex of the key wool traits and wrinkle. If you select only on fleece weight, fibre diameter will go up. But if you select on fibre diameter alone, staple strength will decline. And if you just select on reduced wrinkle, you lose fleece weight. But by having them all in an index, you can achieve a reasonable balance of improvement across all four traits. Finally, indexes are very useful for benchmarking genetic gain, because one of the things we can do is predict the likely genetic gain in traits from selecting on an index. And when we look at the genetic gain in Merino Select and other sheep evaluations, we find that the changes seen in individual traits often align well with those predictions. So that's a brief introduction into indexes and why they're useful. The next videos in this series will go into more detail about our new Merino indexes.